Well, it's Halloween, and it's time for my second part of my Trope Zombie Edition videos. And this is another product right here that you can add to your game. It's called the Companion. It's pretty small. It's not too big. And it pretty much adds in, as you can see, it adds in more different types of mutants. The Bone Walker, the Grave Digger, the Life Tracker, the Dead Hammer, with some pretty cool art of these nasty new mutant zombies. And then there's a lot more of the major NPCs. So you're going to have your corporate CEO, your creepy clown, your crooked cop, unhappy mortician, and then it's going to have a whole section here of more pre-generated characters, obviously with their different professions, like this pro basketball player, soldier. Of course, he's going to have modern armor, an assault rifle, a combat knife, and with their stats. So you could copy these out, you know, or you could just photocopy them or whatever, hand them out, and that would be it. And so you get a whole bunch of those. So it's not a very big book at all. And it's available on ttrpg, which will be, the link will be down below again. You can get the bundle. So as of right now, these two products are only available in PDF. And there's a bundle that's $10. It gets you the artless version of the Zombie Edition right here. It gives you the print version of this and the PDFs of both of these for $10. I think that's a pretty good deal. So now we've got Flight of the Zombie. And this is a full adventure for, well, Outbreak, I guess you could say, for Tropes Zombie Edition. Now, this thing is really cool. And I highly recommend you pick it up if you want to check out this game. So obviously there's Pete. And this is going to be a scenario where the outbreak takes place aboard South Sea Airlines flight Z104, which I like that, a 24-hour flight from New York to Singapore. And so the characters wake up about halfway through the flight to find most of the other passengers in an unnatural state of sleep. The sleeping passengers cannot be woken up no matter how much they are yelled at, shaken, or slapped. A few of these passengers awaken confused and disoriented over the course of the outbreak, while the rest awaken as zombies. So very neat. You're in that situation where you can't really get out. So that's cool. Try to contain the outbreak. And it's going to tell you everything you need to know about it. Things to remember, such as weapons, the cause, this mysterious cause that's happened with it. And then, obviously, you know, features that are going to be in the, with the airplane. It's an Airbus A380, which, of course, is a huge airplane. And it kind of have all the information that you need for the common features of that plane. The different decks and stuff it's going to have, the lower deck, main deck, such as the bar, the kitchens and stuff. And stuff, obviously, you could get out of those things to help you fight off the zombies. And then you're going to have some tips and tricks on how to play it. Now, this is one of the best things about this book, and I would highly recommend you pick this up just to have these maps, because you could use these for pretty much any other thing if you want to have a modern, you know, map, schematic of a big ship, a big plane here. So it's going to have everything broken down for you, the different compartments and stuff, and then, you know, it's going to have the different levels of the plane. And so that's just very, very helpful to have those. And you can use this on a whole bunch of different other stuff, obviously. And then it's going to begin the outbreak. It's got a timeline of events where certain people wake up. Some people wake up as zombies. The characters wake up. And then obviously you're going to have a bunch of, you know, random events are going to happen. And so that's going to be fun to maybe, if you run this multiple times, mutant outbreak, hack phone, hack screen. And here's some of the events here. So you have a zombie event, a passenger event, and other events. So maybe these different type of zombies show up, a zombie event list, like buckle up. Like right here, it says the characters find 1d6 seated walkers trapped in their seatbelts. So it's just neat to have all these things that could randomly happen with these random encounters here. And of course, you're going to have passenger events, crazed passenger, passenger in trouble, and things like that. And then, of course, other events. And some of these are going to be like strange lights. And of course, like this one character chosen at random looks through a window and sees a zombie on the airplane's wing, obviously. And, you know, the zombie appears to be tearing holes in the wing, causing the plane to shudder. As if from turbulence, the zombie occasionally stares curiously at the character, but disappears if any other PC looks for it. So obviously, a take on Twilight Zone, a very memorable, obviously, episode of that show, subsequently. A bunch of different major NPCs that, you know, you've got a young famous YouTuber, an actress and her dog, escorted prisoner. And then, so again, typical ones, helpful ones, and they're just going to help you kind of fill out all those people that are on the airplane. And then the escape and the in-game. And then you're going to have these even zoomed in more maps of this plane. And this is very valuable, I think, for any type of modern game if you want to set something up in an airplane, to have these maps, because you can use them for anything. That's great. And they look really good. I like the rain and stuff. So going with this whole thing about the rain, and what I would think you should do with this is you can have a lot of fun with this adventure, because you know, you really kind of set the mood when you're running this. You know, whenever it's, you know, turn off the lights a little bit. Maybe find on YouTube, there's videos of like 10 hours of like, you know, inside an airplane noise, you know, like white noise and stuff like that you would hear in an airplane. You know, kind of really ramp that up. And just, you could really make this, I think, a horror type, you know, not just a zombie killing, you know, adventure, but more of a real horror thing. Don't tell your players what game you're playing. Tell them the names of the character of their player characters. Maybe give them like a brief description of, you know, what their profession is, the descriptions that they have of them, the 3 sentences whenever you're making the characters. Don't give them the character sheet. And so don't tell them exactly what type the game's going to be or what's going to happen in it. And then once everything breaks loose, all the zombies and stuff go nuts, then you can give them the character sheets and then start running this game proper. So, you know, let it be a bit of a surprise. Try to set the mood a little bit with the lights in the room, the noise. Give each character maybe a reason why they're making this flight, making it kind of personal, obviously. And then once the, you know, it starts getting nasty, you know, you could put on some, you know, some good atmospheric music that goes along with it, some intense music at these different scenes. And then maybe change over, you know, like have it be, you know, much like the Twilight Zone episode, which is probably one of the most famous episodes of Twilight Zone. You know, maybe some noise, some music that you play, some sound effects of, you know, thunder and lightning, really ramp up the whole darkness and the, you know, the crack of lightning that kind of illuminates here and there. And just really, you know, kind of make it as I think you could really make this as horror as you want, and then spring those zombie elements on them. So overall, it's a great little adventure, great maps. Highly recommended, you know, just for those. I mean, I could see myself using those if I was going to run anything that involved an airplane. That's pretty much all you need right there. I like the big map and then the smaller one. And yeah, it's not too big. I think it's like only like 31 pages or something like that. But these are very cheap if you get them solo. But that $10 deal, like I said, it's going to be down in the description. I think that's a great way to introduce yourself to all the 3 different products that are available for the Tropes Zombie Edition. So the companion gives you a little bit extra. It's not extremely meaty, but it's got some cool stuff in there with the different mutant types, the different NPCs. And then, of course, I just think a great way to contain your adventure. You know, well, they're not adventurers, they're more like survivors. Contain your survivors of this outbreak. And a lot of people have been on airplanes, obviously, so we know that kind of feeling. You can really ramp up on the atmosphere and just have a blast. You know, you can play this on Halloween or really any other night where you're in a more of a zombie killing horror mood. So there it is, Tropes Zombie Edition. And here's the original book, of course, that you can get. This is still available for print. And I think just because of the cheap price of these might be a reason why there's not a print version of these available anymore. But maybe it's something that could possibly come back. So if you check these out, like I said, links down in the description if you want to pick up that bundle. And let me know what you think of it. If you had a good time, I hope you have a good Halloween, and I'll see you for the next video. Thanks.